Welcome to another Wayne County High School War Eagle football program. There's always so much going on with Wayne County School District, in particular with Wayne County High School football. We're all crazy about it. And even in the off season, you know, we've got the season, that's what everybody lives for, but there's so much going on in the off season with training and weightlifting and conditioning and planning. But there's a little something extra going on in Wayne County right now at the high school, and that is a facility expansion that that's the buzz and everybody's excited about. So we have gathered some folks that are in the know to tell us what's going on. We have the head coach of the War Eagles, Coach Todd Mangum. We've got Deputy Superintendent of Education, Mr. R.P. Staten, and Mr. Ben Graves, the Superintendent of Education. And then down there out of camera view, but it'll be showing up later to save the day, the Director of Football Operations, Kenny Odom, will be with us here in a little bit. But we want to talk about the program, the facility program that we've got going on. And what I want to do is kind of turn your attention to these three gentlemen right here, Coach Mangum, Mr. Staten, and Mr. Graves, and just have a little dialogue between those guys. Well, how did this thought process begin? Where did this facility expansion idea come from? How did it materialize? Mr. Graves, you want to kick that off?
Yeah, to be perfectly honest, you know, we have some long-range plans, and part of that is to expand the athletic program and to build the things that we feel like the children need to be competitive, and also to keep the kids' pride and so forth. And so basically, as we were touring the stadium, and when Coach Mangum was first hired, was walk around looking at our bleachers and our field house and those type things, and we told him then, at that time, we had some plans to go ahead and start doing some stadium renovations. So I guess primarily looking at our baseball field and our girls softball fields and the condition that the bleachers were in. On the visitor side, we knew that they're in shabby shape. So we decided that now was a good time to go ahead and start addressing, you know, some of those issues. And that's primarily how we all got cranked up on it.
I know during your first tenure as Superintendent of Education, you had a facility, a very comprehensive facility plan that we still see today. And it is, certainly you've always been facility minded, which is important. And Mr. Staten, you were part of that administration. You were also a part of administration after that, and you were involved in this discussion, I'm sure, and probably the line of who was seeking out counsel from engineers and such. How did you get involved in this?
Well, it was all Mr. Graves' idea, and we were just talking about basically how can we pull this project off with the less amount of money. And then we start talking about using an architect, and architects usually cost more than an engineer. And I was telling Mr. Graves I knew of an engineer that could help us, and I made a couple of calls to Clark Associates engineer, and they came over and talked to Mr. Graves, and so we just kind of went with them. But Mr. Clark, Engineering Association, they also had some architects on hand by the name of Ken Hester. And Mr. Graves probably can tell you more about kind of how it went from engineer idea into the architect phase.
Okay. Now, everybody gets an idea. And you're the head coach of the Wayne County High School War Eagle football team, and I know, you know, hey man, this is my home, this is my baby up here. What did you have to say? What did y'all have to sit down and talk some of the things out about your ideas and what they thought? How did that process work, Coach Mangum?
Well, we did. Marshall, like I said, a year ago when I came in, we were kind of touring the facilities and everything, and you know, knew that we needed to do some upgrading. It's like Mr. Graves said, you know, on our visitor side, what was the visitor side? Had been there a long time. And by taking the newer sections of bleachers that we had on the visitor side, being able to take them over to our baseball and softball complex, we now upgraded you know, our baseball and softball facilities, as well as, you know, in the process of upgrading our football facilities also. You know, we've got this is a top 10 you know, program in the state of Mississippi. We're going to have top 10 facilities now.
Yeah.
You know, our stadium expansion with press box and bleacher space. The bleachers will be chair back benches. You know, that's going to be really great for our fans. And then the other phase of it being our field house, and you know, that's that's what we are excited about, myself and our coaches, and then our players are starting to more and more. They hear about it and see about it and everything. They're getting excited about it too. You know, our our field house is functional right now, but it's you know, it's over 20 years old, and so we came to the point in time where we either needed to you know, renovate or build something new, and you know, that field house will still have a functional purpose. Our ninth grade will still dress there. Our visitors will dress there. But again, we've got a top 10 program, and we're going to have top 10 facilities to go with it.
I want to go back and say one thing. I hear this, and I've seen it up there with the relocation of the bleachers. Those facilities look really nice, and this administration and is to be commended on the stewardship you've exhibited over taking what you got and still using it, because it's even though it was used over there, it's first class. That the new part of those are first class, and we commend you on that. The engineering company that you're using, I believe, has some Wayne County ties, if I'm not mistaken. They're over. Are they not from Laurel? And
that's correct.
Some of the Clarks that come back here, so it's some.
Originally from Wayne County.
Okay,
yeah.
well that's good. They have an interest in what's going on here, and that matters a lot too. Well, we came up with the idea. We got these three gentlemen that put their heads together. Did y'all have a lot of interchange in this? Now I don't want to put anybody on the spot now, but did y'all seek counsel from one another and share ideas to come up? We're going to get to the plans in just a minute, but how did that process? Did y'all meet and discuss about what was needed, capacity, and things like that?
We have, of course, Coach Mangum thinks we've met to death. He wants us to start, and we have, you know, but we have had a lot of meetings, and we've changed, and you know, talked about different things, you know, and during that process, you know, you hear some very good suggestions, and some, you know, that makes you rethink some things, and we've talked over a period, I guess now ongoing for about a year, you know, about the bleachers and the field house, and you know, we've gone from a block building field house to a what we call a pre-constructed field house with with steel beams, and and we did that primarily to save money, because Coach wanted a large enough field house, and we're building for the future, because we don't want to build something that another 20 years from now be obsolete. Right. We want to build something that's going to last some time, and so we put a lot of thought in. Same way with the bleachers, we could have gone in and, you know, probably added some bleachers and probably redid it, but we knew that our needs at the baseball stadium, like Coach Mangum said, and softball stadium, and we had plans to upgrade those bleachers as well, you know, which some of y'all have probably seen those plans. But we said we could take what we got and better utilize it, and then come out with a first-class football stadium. That's kind of our directive, you know, that we're going to do the very best with the. But it's been ongoing. I mean, we involved the school board, you know, we got them in, and the coaches, the administration. About beat it to death, hadn't we, Coach?
And here we go again.
And here we go again. Yeah, we have tossed ideas back and forth, and we're still doing it, you know, because we're still in the preliminary. You know, we're going to do this in stages as our money becomes available. So we have about 3 stages, and so we're in the process of first stage, and second stage will be a field house, and we have stage for parking and some other things, and so we're going to it's going to be ongoing, and as we get into it, it'll probably be a lot more input from different people.
Let me ask you this question, and any one of y'all can answer this question. When are the stands going to be complete? But are we going to have stands you sit in when the football season starts? I mean, listen, I get people asking me every day, hey man, they're scratching around up here, I don't see anything going up.
What we're going to do here in about the next 6 weeks, we're going to start hauling in some more dirt so that people can set their lawn chairs up and piles and everything. When equipment comes in, they're going to have a big section of bleachers. We're going to set up on piles of dirt and rock.
Well, let me make one comment on that. Our architect is Ken Hester,
yes,
with Clark Association, and our contractor is Larry Summerall.
Okay.
And they requested, Larry Summerall requested to our architect for a few more days.
Okay.
And our architect basically denied it, said, look, you can have as many extra days you want or cut off as many, but when football season starts, that stadium better be complete. So that's kind of what I'm relying on.
Okay.
Yeah, August 1st.
Yes,
Okay.
it ought to be complete.
Yeah.
Okay, now, second question is the Fieldhouse. Is that gonna be in process anytime soon?
We won't be, this time next year, you know, we'll be in it.
Okay.
The bids have gone out and hopefully, you know, start, breaking ground on it, you know, end of May, 1st of June, hopefully. You know, but the thing about it is, if we couldn't be in it by the time, you know, football started, there's no need in rushing. So, you know, hopefully by this time next year, it will, you know, be complete and everything. Because one good thing about it, building in the summertime, you know, it's a whole lot easier than, you know, weather-wise and everything. Hopefully we'll have, you know, good weather and stuff like that. And through, you know, we have a dry fall and stuff, you know, they can be finished with that. So, you know, hopefully, what would be nice is that, you know, after that first Friday in December when we play in the state championship, hopefully when we come back, we can take that gold ball and it'll be the first thing in that new field house.
It'd be preparing to go back to back.
Yeah.
All right. Now listen, we're gonna need we decided, that's how it all came into play. I'm gonna ask for a volunteer, one of you three gentlemen here, to kind of walk up here. We've got some, just a general overview of these plans, just kind of give us just a brief overview of
Sure.
what's where.
Yeah, I think that probably I can do this and they coach, do the field house more or less. The bleachers, of course, this is 184, which runs here, and we've been talking to the highway department about making this, extending this to a 3-lane road. Of course, we hadn't gotten very far, but we're in the process of doing some talks. And we want, this is actually going to be the front entrance of the stadium. And we, of course, over the next few years, we hope to have parking and those type things. You enter the stadium from the 184 side, and you can enter on either side and walk around to the front. And,
May I interrupt you for a moment?
Yes,
And
sir.
is there gonna be any parking between 184 and the new stadium for this season?
Yes, we hope to have this area here. Our plans is do the demolition on the Royals house
Okay.
that was there. And then what we hope to do is not to have, you know, parking paid, but have parking
I got you.
available.
Okay.
Our plans are in the next phase to do some paving and also have a little plaza with the ticket booths and so forth. We're going to utilize some of this parking, Coach, and you can talk a little bit about that when you talk about the field house. But primarily, most of our parking is going to be kind of sporadic next year because it's going to be some construction going on as well. But we will be able to park here, and eventually we'll have, you know, this paved and also ticket booths and so forth for the enter in the back.
Let me ask you this. The concession stands, are they gonna be underneath the stadium in the restroom facilities? Are they gonna be underneath the seating or out on the end?
Our plans are right now is to have and you can see the concessions on this end where they can serve both sides. And so we have concessions as well as the restrooms and also a partition between the two so you can go from side to side.
Kind of like what's over at Jones County Junior College?
Very
Something?
similar.
Okay.
Okay, very similar.
I didn't realize that you were gonna have the concessions at the end. Okay.
Well, we there again, it came out of dialogue with the band and the band parents.
Okay.
They do the concessions and having them underneath, it was going to cause us to have 2 concessions, one here and then of course one over here. So we decided that we could do a metal building there and have restrooms inside as well as concessions, and you could share and it'd make it much easier for the band boosters to manipulate their, you know, their goods that they bring in and out. So that pretty well, you know, kind of tells. And of course, this is a picture of what it looked like from the front with the chair backs. It's going to be orange and blue, and the board pretty well picked out the color scheme there last Monday night. And so,
Let me ask you this, Mr.
Okay.
What's the seating capacity on the home side going to be? Do we know that?
yeah, it's going to be. They just added another row to
Yeah.
it, Mr. Staten. I cannot remember.
I can't remember
The-
the
I know
exact number,
the-
Mr. Gray.
I know the the center section, which is a reserve section, is going to be like 1,080 seats, which is about 280 seats more than we have now. So I believe the capacity will be somewhat over 3,000. I'm not exactly. They added it because of the handicap. We kind of changed the handicap in the front. We have handicap all the way across the front from the 20 to the 20, where you can, handicap seating would be there. And because of the changes that we made, we were able to add another row of seating up at the top. And so it's a.
Let me ask you one more question for you, Mr. Graves, about the facility, and then we're gonna let Coach Mangum talk about the Fieldhouse for a moment. When we ride down Highway 184 out there and we look over there at War Eagle Stadium, what's it gonna look like?
Well, eventually, our long-range plan is we're going to have a facade out on the front with War Eagle Stadium. And so as you ride along 184, of course, you'll come to War Eagle Stadium with a facade out there with a plaza and ticket booths and in a kind of a wrought iron fence, to look really nice. And then you go on down and you'll see the high school, then the gymnasium, then the baseball field. So as you travel on 184, it'd be very, very, very.
Will that be complete by August?
No.
Okay.
The only thing that we'll have complete by August is the bleachers themselves. Okay. Our next phase would be the plaza and the parking area.
Thank you, Mr. Graves, I appreciate that. Coach Mangum, you want to talk about that field house for a minute and what you need in a field house, what the program needs in a field house?
Basically, what our field house is going to be, just to kind of give you a general overview of it. One of the biggest and most important things that we feel like is the biggest part of our program is our weight room. So we're going to have a little over 4,200 square foot weight room that we'll have there. We'll have a team meeting room where we can bring the team in and talk to it as a whole. We'll be able to divide it in the half and go offense, defense. We'll have coaches' offices and then our locker room there, and then of course equipment, laundry room, and everything. It's going to be very, very functional. Not a lot of glitter, not a lot of bells and whistles.
We're going to have to put these guys in the quiet room. It's going to be a basic working.
Yeah, it's going to be a working facility.
Okay.
We don't need a lot of glitter and all that kind of stuff. We just need something that we're going to get better each and every day. So that's what we're going to have, a functional facility.
Well, we have
a working man's facility, as Pat Dye said when he built the complex at Auburn. He said, "I don't want any glitter. I want a working facility." And that's what we want to have.
That's what you said in the Commons that night, I believe, work hard and win.
That's it.
Work hard and win. And if anybody's been up around there during this off season, there's been some hard working going on. We got some film on that we'll be sharing in the weeks to come. Now, it all looks great, it sounds great, but to borrow the phrase from an old TV show back in the day, the $64,000 question is, how much it's going to cost and how we're going to pay for it? Now, let's pan back down here toward these gentlemen right here. That's what they get paid for. Now they're sitting in the superintendent's desk now, the deputy superintendent. How much is it going to cost, Mr. Graves, and how are we going to pay for this?
Well, we budgeted over $3 million for this, and so primarily the board did that last year, anticipating, of the expense. We did not really know what it was going to cost us. Actually, we budgeted $3.6 million, I believe, was Mr. State. That's right. And what we did, the school board approved a 16-section principal loan, which is primarily you're borrowing the money out of our 16-section principal money, which we have on hand, and we borrowed it at 4%, which the interest we're paying in, we recoup at the end of the year. And also for our 16-section principal, we're making interest off that money as well. So primarily, it's almost like an interest-free loan that we're paying back ourselves, paying it with the interest that we're making off our money.
You borrowed
So,
money from yourself.
That's
and
correct.
you're netting out the interest to practically zero.
Zero, that's exactly right.
And you know, everybody knows about, you ride down the highway and you see these flares, and everybody knows you got some oil and gas money here, and a lot of it in Wayne County. And really, you can't do anything with that but expand facilities. Is that correct?
Correct. The only thing you can do with that is brick and mortar and buses. You can buy buses, which we're looking at doing that as well this year. We put together, I call it a floor plan, that we'll buy 6 buses every year for the next 10 years, so we can replenish our bus fleet every 10 years with, you know, no more than a 10-year-old bus. And so we got some 98s and 97s on the road right now. So we're looking at that. So we're trying to capture as much of that money as we can and those type things. The only other thing you can spend 16 section principal money is on asbestos abatement. So you have 3 things you can spend on. You'd spend it on buildings, buses, or abatement. And that's it.
Well, from what I've seen of those trucks out there coming out of those wells, we ain't got that much asbestos in Wayne County. Thank goodness.
No, we don't.
But I don't want to. I want to just the people to understand this, and it's so important how blessed Wayne County is to have this natural resource and these cash resources that are going to be here. I mean, they're here. You can't spend them. You borrow it and you pay it back. And this is not going to make anybody's taxes go up. It's not going to make your general fund balance go down. It's not going to affect the financial stability of the district, but enhance it. It's not going to be any negative impact financially.
That's right. And as I told the board, I think he put it in the paper, as our interest rates get better, and we hope they do improve, the money is going to be more and more. Okay. So it's going, and of course I earned more 16 section principal money my first 2 months being superintendent this time than I had all the prior years when I retired in 2004.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I was here in your administration sometime, and I know there was a lot of timber coming down those days, so that's a big pile of money. That's a good thing. That's
a good thing
great
for us. It's a gift. It's a blessing, and we're very appreciative of that. And we're in the process of doing some other wells and
drill some more.
Yeah,
just drill
some more money for us. So we're very blessed, and the people in Wayne County are very blessed.
We're going to wind this thing up now, and this is all well and good, but it gets down to the effect. I want us to consider that for a couple of minutes as we prepare to come to a close. And I'm going to turn this first question is to Mr. Staten and Mr. Graves, and that is, what does, and we're going to relegate this discussion to the expansion of the athletic facilities at Wayne County High School. What does this mean to the school district? What does it mean to the school district? Mr. Staten, how do you feel about that?
Well, I really think it, in a nutshell, it enhanced the school district. I think everyone's aware that if anyone want to move someplace, that's the first thing they want to look at, or one of the first things, probably your schools and your churches. What kind of neighborhood we moving into, what kind of educational system. And this facility, as Mr. Gray talked about, it's not just about activities, extracurricular activities. It's to enhance the total educational program. And I think it will just make more people aware of the education opportunities that's here that their children can receive in Wayne County.
Okay. Coach Mangum, let's turn our attention to the Wayne County High School football team and coaches. What does this mean to your coaching staff first, and then what do you think it's going to mean to your War Eagle football team when they start using these facilities and when they pour out between those hash marks come August?
Well, you know, for our players and everything, Marshall, it's going to be really, really good, because right now, you know, we have to work out in shifts, because we just don't have enough equipment and enough space. With this new weight room and new equipment we'll be able to put in it, we'll be able to work our whole team out at one time. In the weight room, you know, we'll be able to put 80 guys in the weight room, and lifting and working out at one time, and we want to go split shifts. That what we've had to do, and that's the only way that we know how to do. So we've made it work. But now it's going to be really, really good when our whole team can go in there at one time. We can all go in there and work out at one time. You know, that's going to be a great thing. You know, just you know, having a new locker room, you know, new lockers and guys being able to go in there and have just a more sense of pride about what they have and be even more appreciative of what they have. It's going to be really, really good to be able to go into a room where players can sit down in a chair and we can talk to our players and show film and go over things that we have to in a big room. We don't have to sit on the floor. We, again, don't have to divide the weight room up and dressing rooms up just to have places to meet with our players. You know, we'll be able to have a meeting room that we'll be able to divide an offense on one side, defense on the other. As far as our coaches, our coaches' offices that we'll have will be bigger. Our technology that we have now, you know, it will be expanded even more. We'll, you know, have the projectors, you know, drop down from the ceiling where, you know, we can show film to our players, where we as coaches will have that. You know, our computer programs that we have now, all of our video and everything's on computer now, and having the ability to access that right there at your desk, it's going to be really, really good. And you know, it's a great thing. Our players, you know, the hard work that they put into, and it's not these guys right now. It's one of the reasons why we're going to have this facility. It's the ones that's come before us. Those players that have come when this thing got started, this thing got rolling back in, you know, in the early 2000s, and when, you know, people know now what Wayne County football is all about. When you talk about football in the state of Mississippi, you can talk about a lot of different schools and a lot of different teams, but before the conversation ends, Wayne County is going to be mentioned. And now we will have the facilities to go along with what we already do. And I know we as coaches, because, you know, we've been in kind of the planning stages and everything, and meeting with you know, guys about weight equipment, lockers, and all. It's just it's kind of like, you know, building up to Christmas, when you used to look at that old J.C. Penney or Sears and Roebuck Christmas catalog, and you'd get real excited. Well, that's how we do it now. We're excited about it, and our players are excited about it, and everybody's going to be excited about it, because you know, of what not just football, but what athletics means to our town and our county. You know, on a Friday night, the population of Waynesboro, Mississippi grows. And just like Mr. Graves, Mr. Staten have said, when you upgrade your facilities and people move into the area, well, you know, they're not going to go to Quitman, they're going to come to Waynesboro, you know, because of the facilities that we have. They're not going to go to Greene County, they're going to come to Waynesboro. If they're going to move into a 30-mile radius of Waynesboro, why not be here? Why not be here where facilities, both academic and athletic, are top-notch? And that's what we have. I mean, we've got a top-notch gym. You know, our gymnasium is as good as anybody in the state of Mississippi in high school. Our baseball and softball facility are as good as anybody. And now our football facility and our stadium and our Fieldhouse now will be on the same plane and be as good as anybody there is, you know, in the state of Mississippi, especially in 5A football and everything. And I've been from 1A to 6A, and what we're talking about doing is really, really good. And our players, our coaches, everybody that supports our program is going to be very, very happy to see this and be very proud of what they have, of what we're going to have here in the near future.
You know, and you're right. And I mean, I get around, and I've had the privilege, thanks to you and CMA, and to do some of the broadcasts over the past 7 or 8 years on the TV here, the local rebroadcast, and people ask me all the time, they're so excited about it, and this facility expansion, they're talking about it. So, we promised the Calvary at the end, and we're getting close to the end, and we've got KO, the DFO down there on the end, and we've talked about from the district standpoint, Kenny, we've talked about from the players and the coaches. Now, you're a community guy, and you got your pulse on the community, and we hear things a lot of times, and people ask us things that they won't come up to these guys, and say, what do you think this is going to mean to the community, to the Wayne County community as a whole?
I think, first of all, you have to stop for a minute and think about some of the places you go across the state, and not just here, but Alabama, Louisiana. I've had opportunity to I'm not a world traveler or anything, but we get around different things and different groups that I've worked with over the years, and you see facilities in other places. For instance, if you leave here and go to Mobile and you get through Central Nail and you look on that east side over there and you see that elementary school and all that stuff, that looks nice. And when you go through there, I mean, one of the first thoughts when you go through Central Nail and you go past where the old school was downtown, you see all it over there, and you pop out on the south side of town there and you look over and you see that school, you say, hey man, that's nice. These folks have got a nice facility. I mean, their kids got a good place to go to school, good, nice classrooms. And as you do that across the state and you see these places, you may not realize it, but you're forming an impression of that area. And you don't sometimes think about it, but you're making a judgment about the people of that community. Now, having said that, when you come into Waynesboro now and you come past the high school and all, of course the school, it looks so nice. I mean, we've done so much work there that the school district has over the years. But when you come down that stretch and you look over there and you see that stadium, I mean, just like now when you go to Hattiesburg and Oak Grove's a little tore up right now, but you go past that facility and you say, that's impressive. And those folks take pride in their community. That's the importance of our community. Maybe just being here, we don't think about it as much because we see it every day. But especially as Mr. Staten was talking a while ago, he is absolutely 150% correct. You want to attract people in your community, you want to attract industry, you want to attract businesses. There's a lot of things that go in that formula, but one of those is the appearance of your schools, the physical appearance of your schools. Because people, without even knowing what the grade average there is, if they see a nice facility, then they automatically are going to assume that there's good teachers and good students in that school district. And when you have visitors and people from out of town like we do from time to time, and I tell you, I've been on the, I've had a chance to serve with the Economic Development Board here for the past year or so, and there's a lot of inquiries about our area from businesses in particular lines, and one of the first things they look at is school. And I think too, Marshall, from the community perspective, it's easy to dismiss this because it's related to athletics. I mean, it's real easy just to dismiss it. They're throwing money down a hole, for 6 or 5 or 6 games a year, whatever. But it's all part of the community, all part of that circle that is the high school experience. And I know Mr. Graves and Mr. Staten, y'all can remember when after we consolidated, we struggled. And when we weren't winning many football games, we struggled even more. But when we started winning, man, our community came together. And you didn't have to go out and beat the bushes for Booster Club folks. They came in and said, what can I do to help? I think this had that same effect.
Well, there's no doubt a lot going on in Wayne County, with the Wayne County School District and with Wayne County High School War Eagle football. We have everything to be thankful for and proud of here in Wayne County for a lot of things. We're excited about it. We appreciate all that you guys do for our children and for our community, because the school district is the heartbeat. It's the soul of any community. And I think that from what I hear, what I see, we're in good shape. And I appreciate all that y'all do here. I just can't wait till we go over to that little facility that you mentioned over there in Oak Grove here in a few more months and try that on for size and see how that's going. I know that your crew is going to be ready to go, and that's going to be here before we know it.
Just got to make sure you get there before they lock the gate. You got to be there when they open it. You got to be there before they lock the gate. But we're going over there.
All righty. We've got Kenny. We want to thank you, Mr. Graves, Mr. Staten, Coach Mangum. Thank y'all for taking your time to share this with the public, and y'all always have open doors, and we appreciate that. So for Wayne County High School War Eagle football, CMA 10, Ken Roberts, for all that you do to make these broadcasts possible, because you got to record it, you got to edit it, and you got to get it where everybody can see it. We thank you for what you do. So we're going to sign off for right now, and we'll be back at some time, hopefully not too distant in the future, for another round of Wayne County High School War Eagle football, and we'll see you then.